Hi.
Hello, Veena ma'am.
Hi, Veena ma'am.
Hello.
We also have Dr. Bhargav. But
Welcome, Dr. Parker. Thank you very much for all your support and guidance.
Hi, Venita.
Hi, Vinay. Okay, we will actually start. Hi, this is Raji, one of the VTVO volunteers. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. We will start maybe around 7:05 since we have just sent reminders to our volunteers now. Just give us a couple of more minutes and then we will be able to start. Thank you. All righty. So, like I said, we will start now. I'm Raji, one of the volunteer with VTVO, and I've been with the VTVO for past 6 years now. I just wanted to check, just a quick check on anyone who is joining us for the first time today for this We Adopt webinar. If you are, then just raise your hands. Thank you. Okay, we have many people. Great. Thank you very much. So then I'll just quickly give a short introduction. I see 10 people have raised their hands. So quickly about We the Volunteers, which is VTVO. We are a volunteering group wherein we support different causes, major causes being Elders Adda, We Pause, wherein we will have 30% of a volunteering event around these causes. Elders Adda is basically a cause where we go and spend our time in terms of service with the senior citizens in the old age home. And we pause mostly caters to the shelter homes wherein we go and kind of provide our service in cleaning, in giving the animals a bath, taking them for a walk, and all of those. Now, these, as I said, constitutes to 30% of our causes. Whereas we also have the other causes like we scribe, wherein we take exams for people with visibility challenges and autism or differently abled as well. So we have a set of volunteers who actually respond and write exams for these students. And then we also have We Record, wherein We Record is also catering to similar people, but then we record the competitive books or any books that they give us because not all books are translated in Braille. So this is one of the causes that we support as well. And we have picked up We Adopt now recently, again restarting or re-energizing it, and all thanks to Lajja who is here. So she is leading our We Adopt cause, and this cause talks about um, the process of how we can adopt a child in India. And Lajja herself, being a parent, I'm sure she'll be able to share more details on this. Plus, also, we do have our guest speakers as well. So that I would probably, over to Lajja for quick introductions and how we are going to go about.
Thank you so much, Raji. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. If I can just see a few thumbs up, I will know that I'm audible to all. Perfect. Thank you. So, hello everyone. A very warm welcome to today's session on child adoption in India. And thank you for taking out time to join in today evening. So, we will start our session with a story, a beautiful one by a couple of our guest speakers. And before I really invite them, they are a lovely couple and they both are very good friends of mine to share their beautiful story with all of us. I will just take one brief moment to also introduce them. So we have Mrs. Veena Krishnan. She is an early childhood expert, and she is a postgraduate from Delhi University, and she's worked in various organizations as a counselor and facilitator, dealing with economically deprived children. She's also worked as an educator for pre-primary and primary classes. And for the last decade and more, she has been mentoring school teachers. She has also been a leader of a team producing teacher training manuals. And for all of this contributions, she has very recently been recognized with a Lifetime Achievement Award. So many congratulations, ma'am. And then we have her husband, Dr. Colonel Hari Krishnan. He is a laparoscopic and gastrointestinal surgeon by profession, and he has served in the Indian Army, the NHS, which is National Health Services UK, and in Muscat, Oman, as a surgical consultant. He is a visiting professor in two medical colleges, and he has also published two books, and with another about to be released. So, with that, I will be probably now inviting Mrs. Veena Krishnan to share her story. And while she shares her story, this is the section that we are covering with her story, with her and Colonel's story, which is called Voices of Experience. And you will see when she narrates her story that all these points that we have mentioned on this slide will be touched upon, which even I will talk in a more elaborate way later in my presentation. So welcome, ma'am and Colonel sir. So I think I will start with Veena ma'am. Please take over. I'll go
Yeah.
on mute now.
Thank you. And how much time do we have for sharing our
Ma'am, you feel free to talk. It's okay. I mean, I don't want to give you both any restriction. You please
uh,
go ahead. Whatever you say, I think the audience will love it. So please
uh,
go ahead.
okay, right. Well, so I thought there's no point in our talking about the adoption process because we adopted some 30 years ago and the process was very different. So I will just tell you about our decision and what what we thought was very important during the adoption process. So the decision was, for me, it was decided when I was in college, when we had to visit institutions that were, processing adoption. This was in Delhi, and I was hoping that when I come to the situation where I will be adopting, it was at that time there were no single mothers and single father adoptions, so it had to be a married couple that had to adopt. And so I was hoping that the person I marry would also be interested in, would agree with me. And it so happened that yes, he was totally for it. And but we had a biological child, a son, and we decided that whatever sex the biological child would be, we would try and adopt a girl. At the time when we adopted, the waiting list for girls was less, the waiting list for boys was more. So that was one decision. Once we decided to adopt, both of us were absolutely in sync with saying that the two children are going to be the same. There's not going to be any special favors given to either of them, and we will bring them up both as our biological child. And how do we deal with the people around? The first person to be to whom we were really we were concerned were the grandparents. We wanted both the children to have the interaction with their grandparents equally, and luckily grandparents, my paternal grandfather was, the paternal side, only the mother was there, grandmother was there, but they were all in sync with us. They were absolutely, for the adoption. So there was no problem there.
Despite being very traditional.
Yeah, traditional.
Orthodox.
My mother-in-law was a very orthodox, traditional lady, but she was very open to the idea of adoption. Then came the immediate family or siblings. We knew that from my side, my brother and family would be fine. Most of my relatives would be fine. But we also decided that in case there was anybody who was not for it, or expressed some doubts, we would tell them very clearly that we are going ahead, and if you have any doubts, sorry, we will have to cut relationships or keep it to the minimum. That was we were very sure of that. And we did get, as soon as when our child came home, we had friends coming and saying, oh, do you happen to know the mother and what kind of family? So in a very straight face, we just said, yes, the father is Hari, he's a doctor. The mother is Veena, and she has a brother. That's it. So when you say it in that firm, straightforward voice, they get the message that okay, these people are not going to these things that we are asking are not important to them. So let's not talk about it, or they are not going to talk about it. So there's no point in asking them. So that was definitely what we planned, and it was good that we were also. The other thing I must say, my daughter, when she came, initially there was I mean, she had her usual some health problems which we tackled, and it was just an infection, that they pick up in these in the home, maybe in the orphanage. So that was dealt with, and she was maybe lucky to have studied in a school where practically every class there was an adopted child. So it was like and everybody talked about it. It wasn't hidden at all. She knew it from the beginning. There was a storybook which talks about what was the story called? My Story, and it very clearly says that some parents, they can't have a child, so they go to an auntie, a social worker auntie, who helps you get a child. That's it. So she kept hearing that, and my son also was told this. So he knew, he was in the process of. I mean, he was involved in the process of, going to see her the first time, and then when the papers were ready, when we went to bring her home, he was with us. So he was involved with the whole process, and so that's how it has been throughout. And now, in fact, sometimes when we find that it's a joke, or maybe you are adopted, I can't be adopted. See how I am, just like my father, just like daddy. See, this is what I am saying. This means that you are the adopted person.
Jyotika says to Karthik, you are not
Yeah,
married.
I mean, my daughter tells my son this, So yeah, so that's how it, luckily, or I don't know how it has happened like that. And so what I'm saying is that you have to be very sure that you are going ahead with it, no matter what the other people say, and be firm about it and very straightforward about it. That's my take. Does Hari want to add anything?
Yeah, I would like to add a few points just to embellish what Veena has already said. Firstly, when we were both completely in sync with one another in terms of what we wanted to do, and that meant we definitely wanted to adopt our second child rather than try and wait for another biological child, which there was no problem with either her or me. But when we decided that we both were in sync, everything fell into place. Because once the parents of the adoptive child are ready for the challenges that anyone in our society is likely to face, everything else slowly fades away. And I'll give you a wonderful example. She said about her brother and family, she was 100% sure, but I wasn't, because my mother was a revelation to me, because she didn't even for a moment hesitate, despite being a 9 yards wearing South Indian lady with totally traditional values. She said, "That's a wonderful thought. Get a child and let us give her a home." Now that really pushed us forward. Then I had a problem. I have 3 siblings. One of them was married to a person and they didn't have any children. And there was a little bit of an issue when I, as a potential doctor, just entering medical college, sister, you should think another adoption for you too. He was not at all keen. There were actually some harsh words also said. So we had made up our minds, like Veena pointed out, that if there's the slightest hesitation on the part of anybody, her side, my side, friends, the casualty will be the friendship, not the child. Oh, what will they say? If they don't like, how will we cope? Now, that is a doubt none of you who are prospective adoptee parents should ever entertain. If you do that, don't go for it. If you're going to go for adoption, don't entertain this. So the advantage for us also was that little Jyotika came at the age of 6 months to us. And this gentleman whom I was fearing about, when he came to stay with us, I'm so happy to tell you all that he was way more than loving that we thought might be an issue with us. He was so fond of her. It was the exact opposite of what we are fearing. And so that made us all so overcome with joy. The other thing we have done throughout is from a very early age, because Veena is so well informed about all these processes and child psychology, having studied it as a subject, we made it very clear to Jyotika, even before we were 100% sure whether she could actually comprehend what is adoption and what is not. We started telling her that you didn't come from mummy's tummy. You were given to us by one auntie who came and told us that you are there. Now, a child who is brought up on this staple diet of information, honest information, and when she goes to school and finds that there are other children whom she can also relate to with similar backgrounds, that is a very strong way of building the adopted child's love and trust in the parents. And the last was that our son was 5 years older when we got a daughter. And that was a big advantage because he was all for his baby sister, protecting her more than anybody else in the family. And the final crowning glory of our satisfaction came when we moved from place to place because of my army life. Many people would ask, and if we were very open and forthright about the fact that, yes, she's an adopted child, some of them would actually want to come and talk to us and say, look, we are also interested. Can you guide us how to go about it? So I think openness is an absolutely inviolable character you should have, and commitment. If you think that you want to adopt, you must go for it all out. Please do not let any worry about what will the neighbors say. What if the color of the child is different from what my other child is, or my own color is, and all that. Then I think that self-doubt is likely to be a deterrent. So please don't allow that to enter. And I can give you in writing, we have the biggest arguments between me and my daughter. We have equally big arguments with my son and I. My wife is a wonderfully polite and lovely and calm person, but there is no question in any one of the four of us, anyone in the minds of any one of the four of us, that we are a family. Now, that is the mainstay of adoption. So if you all think of it like this and be honest about it, you will be wonderfully successful adoptive parent with all our accumulated blessings for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Veena ma'am and Colonel Hari. I think I have nothing much to say now. You have done today's session. I think there is a background noise. Someone's, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that was wonderful. And I mean, it was done 30 years back. So even I was in awe when I heard their story, and therefore I thought it was important for them to share it in this forum. And thank you so much, both of you, for sharing your personal story in such a beautiful way. And like I was mentioning, the decision to adopt, I mean, of course, there is a legal process, etc., which I will talk about. But they also spoke about building bonds and how you have to be very clear in your head once you have taken that decision, especially between the husband and wife. And that, yes, adoption is not just a process, it's a lifelong journey and of building a family, just like any other way. So with that, I will move ahead. And I will touch upon what is today's agenda, like what are we going to talk about in today's session. So we are going to demystify the word adoption, and we will try to normalize the conversations around it, because that is very important. I always say to everyone who talks to me about adoption is that this is just another way of becoming a parent. Just like you have surrogacy, you have IVF, you have so many other different ways. This is just another way. So we should just try to normalize the conversation and automatically, slowly but surely, the taboo will probably go away. Uh, we will also touch upon the process, like I said, because it is uh, a framework in India through CARA. CARA is CARA, which is Central Adoption Resource Authority. Now, this is the nodal body under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, regulating all adoptions in India. So we will understand what the process is, which is to be done under this body called CARA. Okay. Uh, as I said, we will also talk about some myths and try to answer your questions around it and break those myths for all of you, because there is still a lot of lack of awareness, and a lot of people don't know about what adoption process entails, and they still have those doubts and myths in their mind. And I think also a long years of Hindi cinema has done that to us, where we always are shown a scenario where couple who is childless goes to an orphanage, and then they look at all the children, and then there is a cute one tucked away somewhere, and all of that. But in reality, it is nowhere close to that. So we will try to talk about the proper process and break those myths. We will also share real stories, which we already did. In every session, we try to bring in a real couple who has gone through this journey, a real couple or a single mother or a single father who has gone through this journey, because every journey is unique. Every story has something that we can learn from. Like, I have adopted two girl children, and I have my own story. But whenever I hear stories from anyone else who has adopted, it's always been very different. Some similarities, but a lot which I also learn. So it's interesting to get to know about each other's story. And this is a place where we will answer all your questions, and it's a safe place. You can ask your doubts. No question is a wrong question. There are no judgments. There are fears, there are inhibitions, and as long as we are clear as to why we are here to answer all your questions, and not have any doubts about that at all. Okay, so moving ahead, just before I touch upon the process, etc., I just wanted to share a few numbers, because it is important to take this background before we enter and talk about the adoption process, right? So, what do these numbers really mean? You don't have to get overwhelmed. We all know India is a very populous country with over 1.4 billion people, right? And it has an estimated 30 million, they say, as per the data, that there are 30 million abandoned or orphaned children. So then one wonders that, then why is the adoption period so long, right? But out of these, there are approximately only 5 lakh children who are in what we call institutional care, which is places like orphanages, nursing homes, mental health institutions, or residential care facilities. And out of this 5 lakh, there have only been around 4,500 legal adoptions in India on an annual basis. That's the number that you see, right? And the number that you see has actually been the highest in over a decade, and 90% of these adoptions have been domestic and 10% have been international. So what do I mean when I say domestic? Very simple. International adoption refers to children being adopted by families who live outside India. It's as simple as that, by NRIs or by overseas citizens or by foreign nationals. Okay. And domestic adoption is within the country. The family is in India and they have adopted in India. Then we also see that what you see is the terminology called PAP, which is nothing but prospective adoptive parent. Anybody who has applied in the CARA portal to for adoption, they are called prospective adoptive parents, right? So there are approximately 36,000 people who have registered, and these numbers must have changed a little bit here and there. Basically, it means that they are all wanting to adopt. 36,000 is the number. And we saw that the average numbers that get adopted is only 4,500. So the gap is really huge. Next, we also see that the children who are available for adoption. Why is this so? Because the children who are available for adoption is as less as are under 3,000 who are legally allowed to be adopted, and uh, and that is the reason that contributes to the wait time being so long. So it's a clear demand and supply ratio, that there is a lot of demand, but the supply is very less of legally free children for adoption. Um, then we also see we also see that the adoptions of special needs children has been very, I mean, and this number 1400 odd is since 2019, right? So this is obviously a very small number. So what is special needs category? So unlike what a lot of people think, that they definitely have some problem, or they are mentally challenged, or they are children who will be, how can we adopt those special children? That is not the case all the time. Special children can be any child who has also a minor problem, some medical condition which can be treated, or some behavioral issue because of the trauma that he or she must have gone through in his childhood days. So it is not like that. And Kara is educating people about this category, and there are special processes for adopting under this category, which is all there in Kara's website, right? And the last point which we see is about growth in non-institutional care, which is a healthy number. But what does this actually mean? So institutional care is nothing but when children are they stay in places like shelter homes or child care homes, where many children are looked after together in a setup, right? Non-institutional care, on the other hand, is children growing up in a family setting, through foster care, or relatives are taking care of them, and they receive more personal care, attention, and emotional bonding. So this is a good shift, but it also means that the government and support systems need to strengthen the policies to make sure that these family-based care arrangements are safe and beneficial for the children. And also the institutional care, they needs to be strengthened as well, because from there only the adoption will finally happen as well, right? And we saw the average wait time for adopting infants, especially 0 to 2 years, is around 2 to 3.5 years. And now we understand a little better as to why the case is so. Okay, so with this, we will move to the most important thing, which comes, not the most important thing, but the first thing which comes to anyone's head as to why do people adopt, right? So now there are, everyone has a story, and everyone's motivation is different, everyone's reason is different. So motivations can vary, but what cannot vary and should not vary is the clarity. Once you have decided, like Colonel Hari and Veena ma'am were saying, once the couple has decided, then you just have to move forward with a lot of grit and patience, and smile through the journey, because it is a tough journey. So because unfortunately we are surrounded with people who don't understand this, right? But that should not take away from your decision. So let's see what the reasons are. Obviously, the most common reason is infertility. For some reason, the couple is not able to have a child, and they apply for adoption. Then there is single parenthood, where single individuals, for some reason, they don't want to get married, or they are divorced, or they want to still become a parent and have a family, or build a family. Then there is social responsibility, where some people who already have a biological child, or may not have a biological child, but they feel that they should make a positive difference in society, and this is their way of contributing. And so this is their way of doing it, and they go ahead with that thought. And the other reason can also be, or the motivation can also be, what we call first choice parenting, which is that it is, adoption is not the last resort, but the first and only resort, which was in my case. So I wanted to be a mother, but the decision was that I want to do it only by adoption. And I was really lucky and blessed that my husband was also on the same page. And of course, the journey was tough, but there was no looking back, like we heard. So these are the motivations that people will have generally for adopting. Now we will actually touch upon a lot of important things around adoption, and we will start with what do you exactly mean by adoption of a child, right? So adoption is a legal process. It's a legal process through which a child becomes a permanent and legitimate member of your family, just like a biological child, right? So the adoptive parents, they take on all the parental rights, responsibilities, and privileges, and the child receives the same legal status, rights, and inheritance as a biological one, because it's done through a legal process. So that's the definition of adopting a child, right? Now, what constitutes legal adoption in India? So, of course, it's a legal adoption. So, it is carried under the laws of the country, and it is recognized by what we say CARA, the Central Adoption Resource Authority. And it follows certain acts and adoption regulations, which keep getting amended. And also in the process is involved what we called SAA, which is Specialized Adoption Agency, and it has to be approved by the district magistrate, the entire process. Okay. So when we touch in the but when we go to the process, we will see that the first step itself is that you have to register in the CARA's portal. It has a website. You have to first go and register yourself as a prospective adoptive parent, and there are categories that you can select. You're a resident Indian, non-resident Indian, whatever it is, and that's the first step. Okay. So now let's move to who can adopt. As I said, obviously these are under some acts and guidelines of CARA, but let's see who can adopt. Now, any Indian citizen, non-resident Indian, overseas citizen of India, anyone can adopt, okay, in India. Single or married individuals, unlike what a lot of people think is not the case, are both eligible for adoption. There must be, however, at least a 25-year age difference between the child and the adoptive parent. Now, why they have these kind of policies is also because they have the child's interest as first in their mind, right? Because everything else is secondary. So whatever they think is best for the child, and very fairly so. So therefore, these rules and regulations have been drafted. The married couples, they must have a stable marriage for at least 2 years, and of course both their consent must be there. During my time, I mean 30 years back, like when and Colonel Hari sir did it, the rules may have been different. During my time, for the first kid, it was around 10 13 years back. It was 5 years of stable marriage, but now it's 2. Single females can adopt any child, any gender, but single males can only adopt a male child. As I said, they will keep the interest of the child first and foremost. Prospective parents should be physically, mentally, financially stable, and they should not have any life-threatening medical condition. And all of this is not just words. When you register on the CARA's website, the second step involves submitting a whole lot of documents, right? And all these documents are ways to kind of check whatever I just said. So you have to submit, of course, your identity, residential, your health checkup, police verification, investment proofs, a lot of things which will give a proper proof of whatever I just said, that the prospective parents uh, are will make a good parent, and the child will be sent to the right place. And the maximum age to adopt for a couple is the joint age of the couple between the husband and wife has to be anywhere between 85 years to 110 years. And now this depends on the age of the child that you are going for. So if it is 0 to 2, then the age bracket will be different. If it is 2 to 5, it's like that. So but the range is 85 to 110 years. And for single parent, it has to be between 25 to 55 years. So this was all about who can adopt. Now we also need to understand who can be adopted. Of course, we know that any orphan child can be adopted, but is that the case? No. So let's understand that again. I mean, again, all of these are under our acts and regulations of our country. Now, a child becomes legally eligible for adoption only after being declared so. Okay, so there is a process which is governed by the Child Welfare Committee. So just because a child is orphaned or abandoned or found somewhere or has no one to care for doesn't mean that that child can be legally adopted. So there is a whole process around it, right? And this declaration, that the child is legally free, will ensure that the child has no legal claimant, so that in the future the parents don't have a problem. So they don't have biological parents or guardians to take care of them, and then they are placed under the care of this specialized adoption agency, SAA, via which we have to route this. So the children who are eligible for adoption will include, of course, orphan children, who have either lost one parent or both parent and whose parents are untraceable. But that also they have to prove that the parents are untraceable. So there is a way to it. They'll have to put an ad in the newspaper and wait for an X period of time, etc., etc. And then it's verified and declared by the Child Welfare Committee that, okay, this child is free for adoption. Then we have abandoned children, children who have been deserted or left by parents, but they also must remain unclaimed, display and by the authorities will make efforts to trace the family. But if despite all those efforts, when no one comes forward, then the child is free for adoption and the process goes ahead. Then there are surrendered children, where a child is voluntarily given up in children homes or various places, and a lot of these children homes, they will have a kind of uh, a ring and a cradle kept outside their homes for anybody to come and leave the child there. But that is also called leaving the child. But there are many cases where they will voluntarily come up and they will give up their biological parenthood, whatever their circumstances are. Maybe most of them is that the case of an unwed mother and she wants to move on in her life and she cannot accept the child, etc. Or there may be some health reasons, financial issues, etc. So the parents must formally surrender the child through this legal process. And then, as I said, there are children with special needs who have some physical, mental, or medical conditions, or they belong to a sibling group. A sibling group is like a brother or sister, sister or sister, brother or brother, they who have lost their parents in some natural calamity or something untowardly happened, some accident, etc. But they are together. So for their mental growth, it's better that they grow together also. So ideally, if someone can adopt them together, then it's great. So they are also under the special needs category. And then we have older children who are above 5 years. Once they are declared eligible, for adoption, Kara encourages adoption of older children too, not just infants, because it's difficult. And we already touched upon adoption of a child with special needs. But as I said, that they are children who, because of their condition, they require extra care and attention and support, compared to the other children. They may have some physical disability, which is, very easily handleable, like you can just go to the doctor and ensure that, that is taken care of. Or they may be having some developmental issues in the early years, or they as I said, they may have seen some major trauma, losing their parents in front of their eyes, so they have some behavioral issues, etc. So they are all under this special needs category. And Kara is really promoting awareness about this because it has a different process, and the process is quicker, it's faster than a regular category, like a normal category. which is all there in the Kara's website. And now the key points to remember is that, every adoptable child, I cannot say enough that they have to be registered on the Kara's portal. So they are available. And it can be only done through specialized adoption agencies and through Kara's process. There will be middlemen, and there are people, wherever there are processes, there are people who want to break it because they want the easy way out, and they get misled. So that shouldn't happen at all. uh, and there are no extra charges. Nobody asks for any donation. It's a very transparent, clear cut process. And it's now the entire process is online. During my time in my first child's case, it was not like that, so it was more cumbersome, but now it is fairly transparent. Of course, there is a waiting period which one cannot do much about. And there is a counseling session also. So the social workers at the agencies will counsel the adoptive parent and talk about it. And they will also talk to your family members, etc. And that also continues after the adoption. So that is also a part and parcel of the process. So we need to keep all of these things in mind as well when we are talking about adoption. I hope everyone is okay. So I will continue. All good, I guess. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for showing me those thumbs up, because it's a one-way communication right now, but we will soon get into the interactive part. Okay. So the process. Now, the process is, like I said, like, any other, like even in a biological case. I mean, I can't call it a process, but it is a process, right? Because there is the first semester, then you have certain things that happens to the female's body, and nowadays there is a lot of counseling that happens. And so every phase, you have something that you go through, and it's more physically and emotionally, etc. And the entire family is going through it, right? So it's in IVF and any other process. So in adoption also, there is a process. The process is these steps. Basically, you have to first register on the Kara's website. That is the first step. I mean, you have to first do that, and only then anything else can go forward. After that, you have to upload all the documents, whatever. It's very clearly stated what all is requirement. So you upload all the documents. And while you are doing all of that, they will also ask you a couple of questions. Unlike, like I said, what they show in Hindi movies, that you get to choose the child. It is not like that, and thankfully so. So the only thing that they will ask you, and if you are eligible, then you can do so, is the age of the child. You want 0 to 2 or whatever, and you should fall in that age bracket yourself as well. The gender of the child, and from which region are you looking at. So on the Kara's website, you will get to see the waiting period of each region. When I say region, like states, Maharashtra, Karnataka. Earlier they also used to, and they give you 3 options, so you can see the waiting period and decide. So earlier they used to also have all over India, but I think I'm given to understand that that option has been taken away, because a lot of people they click on, I mean, they tick on all over India, but when the referral comes, like when the child details are sent, then for various reasons, maybe the child is from the northeast part and looks very different, so they reject. So I think now that option has been taken away. But during my time, in my second child's time, when it was again online and I did this entire process, we had selected all over India, because I was very clear it can, and we were counseled. They will counsel you, and they will honestly tell you that, listen, you have to be mentally ready, that the child can come from, say, a Nagaland or Meghalaya. And of course, you have to go there and bring the child home, and secondly, he or she will look very different, so you have to be ready for that. So we were very clear that it doesn't really matter to us. So all of those things are there. So these are the only 3 things that you can put your preference against. And then the next important step is what we call home study, HSR. Now, this home study is a process where, a social worker will come home and will kind of speak to you, spend time with you. In the process, they have their own checklist which they are observing and watching. your house and who are there in the house, and they are trying to gauge a lot of things, and they will literally interview you. They'll ask a lot of questions, and I think they are doing their job, so it's perfectly fine. All they want to know is that the child is going to a good family, a good household, right? So all the people in the family, if they are in on this decision, and if they are favorable, then it really works in your advantage. And if they are not, then you have to work towards that and get them on the same page, or wait patiently for them to get on the same page, because you can't force fit your opinion and thought processes on others, especially your immediate family, and especially your own parents, who are from a different generation, like my parents, right? They, of course, they didn't accept, and they took a long time to be on the same page as me. But what helped was, I really navigated the entire process with a lot of patience and love. I never opposed them. I never said that what you are saying is wrong. I just requested them that, just like I'm trying to understand your thought process, if you can try to understand my thought process, and if you can't do it today, I will wait for the day when you can. So that all these positive kind of affirmations, etc., always helps. um, so they'll come home and they'll do the study, and after that they are supposed to go back and make a report, and they are then supposed to upload that report on the Kara's website, which is a very important step, because unless they do that, when you log into the portal, you will not be able to see what is your waiting number. That will start only when their report has been successfully uploaded on the website. Okay. And after that, you will watch your waiting period. It may be 500, 800, whatever, it all depends. And you can keep seeing, on a weekly basis or whatever. I mean, to each his own. I used to really watch on a weekly basis and make an Excel and try and see the chances, when will it be, permutation, combinations, etc. And then once your number is closer to 100 and below 100, then you can expect an email, which is called, like, the referral is coming to you. So they will send you details of the child, whatever they know, not about their biological parents, but how the child was found, and there will be a medical report, all the vaccinations which have been given. If they have a picture of the child, they'll give you. So all the details will be given, and you'll be given some 48 hours to kind of either say a yes or a no, and you can show these reports to your own medical doctor, etc. So that time period is given for that. uh, so once you say a yes, if you say a no for whatever reason, then I think there are two more chances given, and another email will come with another child referral. And if then also you say a no for whatever reason, then you are put back into the queue, right? And if you say a yes, which I'm hoping mostly is the case, at least in my case it was like that, then within 20 to 25 days you are supposed to go to that agency and take the handover of the child. Now, once you do that, like my first child is from Bombay and the second one is from Ranchi. When I was staying in Bombay, she's from Ranchi. So we had to go to Ranchi and take the child. But when you take the child home, you are still not the legal parent of the child, because you are what we call, the child is in foster care, because the legal documentation has not yet happened, right? So you are taking care of the child, and they'll keep checking. The agency will check on you as to what is happening, how is the child behaving, responding, send pictures, send videos, etc. And then there is a legal process where, in Ranchi, for example, in my case, there only we had to do all the legal processes, meet the lawyers, which the agency had guided us. And then you have to present yourself in front of the judge. At times it's a small room, and they will sit across and ask some questions and take your signatures, etc. And at times it's a little longer, or you have to actually be in the court and be in that stand, what we see in movies, and some questions will be asked to you. And after all of that, the legal deed, or the adoption deed of the child will be created and will be handed over to you, and only then you are the legal parent of the child. Okay, so that's the entire process. So now I'll just go ahead. I think there is just one last bit which I think I've already touched upon. A lot of these, that these are all myths, which I'm happy to. I hope that it has all been broken. Mostly, all have been broken in your heads, at least. That childless people can only childless couples adopt. No, that's not the case. Motivations can vary. Single people can adopt in India. And then like we heard that people will say that there'll be no real bond. I mean, I've had people, my own friends, saying that how will you get the feel of being a mother, because it's not, the child is not coming from your own womb and all. It doesn't happen like that. I think the bonds are not formed like that. They are formed, I mean, if you really look deep, it's a connection of heart, right? So it's nothing like that. And if others will judge me, they will judge the child. I mean, that is a given. They will judge you any which ways. If you get married, they will judge you for something or the other. If you don't get married, they'll judge you for not getting married. If you don't have a child, so that is endless. So let's not even talk about it. Uh, the adopted child will probably miss or search for their birth family. So this is an important thing. Now, it is the legal right of a child to know about their birth parents after 18 years, and if the agency is, they are liable to share. So there have been stories where adopted kids have pursued and they have gone after looking out for their birth parents, which I think is very fair, because people need closure. If today I get to know that I am adopted, nothing will change in my life. I'll have the same love and respect for my parents, but maybe even I will want to know that who gave birth to me, what were the circumstances. It's just a human, right? And I want a closure. Maybe some people want it, some don't want it. So I think it's completely fine. We need to be honest, we need to be transparent. My This is personal, but I would like to share it because I think it's important. My elder uh, girl is 14 years old, so I have a different conversation with her. Once in a while I bring this topic up to understand whether she's comfortable, what is going on in her head, because it's a lifelong thing. She will have a lot of questions as she grows up in different ages of her life. And very recently, she did mention that she is interested to meet her birth parent, and I totally encouraged. And I said that after she's 18, I will go along with her, and we will do this together, because it's her right. So, I mean, if you do it in a positive, transparent, honest manner, then I think it's completely beautiful, and there cannot be any doubts or these inhibitions to seep in your lives. So only young children are available for adoption. No, that's not the case. Even older children are, and Kara encourages people to adopt because they are difficult. I mean, people generally don't adopt older children. The adoption process is too long and complicated. Not complicated, yeah, maybe long, but every process is. So this has its reasons, like I already stated. We already spoke about the fact that we should not hide the fact of adoption from the child. I firmly believe that you hide something which you think is wrong, or has some element of doubt. But if that's not the case, then it should not be hidden. At a very early age, when, like Colonel Hari was sharing, when my kids couldn't even comprehend the word adoption, I have started sharing stories with them, and I have walked the journey as to the fact that they have come from a different mother from the womb, but they belong to me. They come from my heart. So there are different ways that you can build these stories, and in a positive way. And we never use terms like they were left or they were abandoned. We always say that of course they wanted to keep you, but they had their own challenges and they couldn't, and we were lucky, because you were so special. And that's how. So different ways can be to each his own, but the point is that it has to be positive and not in a negative way at all. International adoption is easier than domestic adoption. No, that's not the case, just the process is different. So these are some of the myths. There are many more, but I don't want to touch upon all of that now. So that brings me to the end of what I wanted to share today. And I would now invite Raji to take over. And also, we would want to hear from Dr. Vinita Bhargav, who has been patiently hearing all my the entire session. Yes, Raji, over to you.
Yeah, and actually, it was a great session today, Laja. I have to accept. I have been a part of the other two sessions as well, but today I'm sorry, there are a lot of kids in the house. Lajja, no, so it's one of my son's friends' birthdays, so they're all around.
No
Thank
worries,
you.
no worries, no worries.
So I mean, hearing and hats off to Veena ma'am and our journal sir, because 30 years back, adoption was like not a very common word that even we use now. So it was a very inspiring story to hear. So thank you very much for that. And Lajja, I don't mind if yeah, you would like to introduce Dr. Bhargav, or do I kind of do it?
No, please go ahead, Raji.
Sure. And thank you, Dr. Bhargav, for being with us. And again, thank you once again, because I know you have actually invested the time and joined this every time we have had this, webinar. 1 minute, and quickly my laptop is restarting. Just a minute. Meanwhile, while the laptop does its technical glitches, I just wanted to understand, like in from the audience, how many of you have kind of adopted? Because we are um, planning to have such webinars. So, in case if you would like to share your story with us, then please let myself or Lajja know that you would want to share your story, and then maybe in the next webinars we will go ahead and share it like how Veena ma'am and Colonel Sir have shared. Quickly, 1 minute. Do you have any questions for Lajja or Veena ma'am? Please feel free to kind of unmute yourself, ask us.
Hi, my name is Namita, and I was looking for adoption from quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to know more about the special needs category. We are a middle class family, and taking in a child who has a lot of care to be done, that might be a little difficult for us. But
Mm.
we are in a good financial way where we can handle a normal, healthy child. Even two children also is good. So in special needs category, I would like to see how I can explore more so that we get a child soon, because we are expecting to have a child as soon as possible. But yeah, somewhere we also have a little boundaries on how we can opt. So can you clear this myth a little bit for us?
Sure. Thank you very much, Namita. Ma'am, great thought. Welcome to the family. And Lajja, you want to take it, or we will wait?
Is Dr. Bhargav there? Or is she not? I guess she's not. Can you see her? Can anyone
Let
of you?
me check the. I don't see Dr. Bhargav. No, maybe she has dropped.
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yes, never mind. In that case, I mean, she would have been a better person because she is been instrumental in forming Kara itself. So the wealth of information that she brings on the table, that is nothing compared to what my experience has been. But Navita, what I can tell you is that you can visit the Kara's website. There is a special section or under called special needs children, and you can go through the entire process. I in fact know someone personally who has adopted a child under this category, so I can connect you with that person. She stays in UK now, and like I said, in her case, the child was placed under the special needs category simply because the child had some ear infection, which they thought that he is hard of hearing, but that was not the case. So very small things also, when they find, they will, like I said, there are certain things which are medically curable, like very quickly.
Right.
There is a whole lot that is given on the Kara's website, but otherwise I can separately also connect with you, and I can connect with the Vadopt team, and that will be more helpful for you. Does that work?
Yes. Yes, yes. I would like to connect with you on that. Would love to.
Laja, I just got a message from Dr. Bhargava,
Yeah.
and she says she's traveling and with friends, so she's not able to join.
Okay, no worries, no worries. I mean, she's been very kind and supportive every time she joins in whenever we have this session, but that's completely fine. And she was there actually for quite some time. Yeah, she was.
Yes, maybe she joined the initial
Yes, yes, she
call.
did.
Yeah.
She was one of the early arrivals actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
thank you, Veena ma'am, for confirming.
yes, thank you, Veena ma'am.
Mm.
So yes, yes, Archana, I think is writing things, which is absolutely right. Those are the medical conditions which can be easily corrected. That could also happen to your biological child, right? I mean, then you would go ahead and do whatever is required. But unfortunately, people have that inhibition in their mind because of lack of awareness.
Yeah. Yes, you say.
I noticed that Rohit and Avantika have had
And
their
a few
hands,
others.
and a few others have had their hands raised for quite some time.
Yes, yes, we will. We
Can I
will.
go next, ma'am?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I'm Rohit here. So, ma'am, sorry, I have four questions. So it would be
Okay.
great if I get that uh, answered.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, the waiting period, although you had mentioned around 3 to 4 years, but is that depend on the reason why we need to adopt? Because there were some four reasons you showed us, right? Like example, we are the first time parent, or we are wanting to adopt because of compassion.
Hmm.
Does any of these factors actually influence the waiting period?
No, no, no. See,
Okay.
those are just reasons as to why one chooses to adopt. So I was
Okay.
just trying to clarify that the motivations are different. It's not necessary. So, and also to clear the fact that uh, it's not that only people or couples who cannot have children biologically they can adopt. You are free to adopt any which ways. Even single parent people can adopt. So those are the various motivations and reasons, but that's got nothing to do with the waiting period.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
And the second question is the whole process about HSR, right? When someone visits to find out that, okay, is our family suitable for adoption?
Mm-hmm.
Although I understand about the HSR process, but is there any number of chances specifically that during evaluation happens, and if they feel that, okay, we are not suitable for adoption at all, okay, is there any fair number of chances given? I know how HSR is done. What is that? I know that. But according to the legal process in India, are there any number of times where,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
okay, what is,
Absolutely. So what happens? I mean, of course, the social worker will come to your house once, but if there are any reasons or any developments, then there will be a back and forth. I mean, so of course they will tell you the reason, and then you can go and explain or whatever. So it's not just like a one-time thing. In fact, I know of a friend who had applied for adoption as a single parent. She was not married, and she wanted to be a single parent, and her everything was done. Her HSR was also done, and she was watching the queue, like what her number is, etc. And it so happened that her marital status changed. She decided to get married, and it just happened. So then she went back to the agency very honestly and gave the complete picture. The HSR was done again because now they want to meet the husband also, right? And she was very honest, very transparent, and Kara was also very supportive. She wrote an email to them, so it was all fine, because see, all they want to know is that there is genuineness, and because as I said, the child interest is kept first. But it's not like that they'll come and they'll do something, and they will not tell you that where you went wrong, and they will just do a negative report. It's not like that. There's always a lot of conversation that is there with the agency, with the social worker that is involved.
wonderful. Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
ma'am. And the third question would be, can you please repeat that what is that special category kids are? You
Hmm.
mentioned a list of who the special
Yes, yes, yes.
list. Okay, so can you
Yeah.
repeat that?
Yes, I will. So, see, as I said, you can also see it more in a more elaborate manner in the Kara's website. But basically, special needs child is someone who may have some physical, mental, emotional, or medical condition. Okay, which some can be taken care of, some maybe not, but mostly they can be taken care of. Of course, with intervention of doctors and treatments and therapies, etc. And these kids require obviously more, they require more extra care and attention than the normal category children. And the waiting period there is not long. I mean, that is available immediately, because Kara is encouraging people to come out of that myth and look at this category, right? Now, they may have some physical disability, like a slight hearing problem, which can be corrected, or, like I think Archana, who's in our session, she was mentioning hole in heart, which again, can be a surgery can be done. So there can be some physical deformity, which is not such a major problem. Okay. Or there can be some developmental issues which will lead to some behavioral challenges in the early years of the child, so which you have to take care of. And with love and attention, that also can not can it's completely fine, there is no problem. So they are correctable. Many of these things are very, very correctable. And then there are also children, what we called the sibling group, where, as I said, that there are the sister and brother, or brother and sister who are together, and they have either been orphaned together, or due to some natural disaster, or in COVID times, or in accident, they have lost both their parents, but they are together. So ideally, for their mental growth and development, it's better that they grow together, that they are with each other, right? So they are also placed in this category. So that is, and they are normal, but just because of this condition of theirs, they are placed under that category. And also older children, right? They are also in this category of special children.
Perfect, ma'am. I think the last two was clear for me. That
Okay.
is what I was wanting to hear.
Okay, great.
And one last final question. Again, I think this should be added in the myth section,
Mm-hmm.
if that's the myth. So
Hmm.
is it something like if we already have a biological child, okay, so already, okay, but uh, now of course we have, let's say a situation where we can't have child naturally, and
Mm-hmm.
just because of the reason of compassion, yes, we are desperate for the adoption.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we already have a child, are these kind of parents are put in a bottom of the list because they already have a child?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
That
Okay.
has got nothing. So we heard Colonel Hari and Veena ma'am's story. They have a biological child and they decided to adopt. So there are many such stories, and the process will not intervene with that, because
Okay.
that has got nothing to do with the waiting period or putting you at the back of the list or etc. Nothing, not at all. It's a complete myth.
Perfect, ma'am. That is all. These were the four precise questions I had.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, I think there is someone called Vishal Khanna that I see. Or Avantika is also there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
Vishal.
available.
Yeah,
Can I
Vishal
go
is here.
ahead?
Yes, please, Avantika, go ahead.
Okay. So, I am looking forward to adopt a baby as a single mother and
Sure.
an infant baby, and I have started my research understanding the Kara process. I even met another single mother who adopted, let's say, 2 3 years back. So I have been doing all my research. One thing that currently concerns me, and I'm looking for some targeted counseling to discuss and understand the situation better, is now when I'm looking at adoption as a single mother, I am taking a whole lot of responsibility. Anyways, the world say that it takes a village to raise a child, right? And this time I'm signing up for a huge responsibility. I need to provide for the child and I need to nurture, and I can't be lax on any of these aspects. I need to till the child has become come into a responsible age. At least I get him or her educated well, so that further he or she can take his life, her life forward.
Yes.
So what worries me is, let's say I apply it in a general category child, not the special category child, and many a times I hear stories that, especially the mental health disorders, they don't depict very well in an early age when the child is already infant. Not that a special especially able child is any less worthy of deserving all the love and adoption and care, but if I am taking that responsibility all alone, me not able to do it very well and getting overwhelmed in the lack of a normal family environment, that has got more chances when I'm doing it all alone, and I feel that I might not be able to do the justice. Like in a couple setting, there is always an option that when the things are really getting very hard, one of the parent can decide to be at home and give more care to the child while the other person takes care of providing. That might not be possible in my case. So I'm very much worried that my child should not be a specially able child, and I mean, I should not be able, be able to find that out in future. It should still go in a normal manner.
Okay.
While I'm worried, I'm also open to hear some views on this aspect, which helps me understand whether my point of view is right or wrong, or what options do I have available, what kind of support. So any comments on that, or
Yes.
any group that I can connect to with
Yes.
in future?
So I can
Can
connect.
I say?
Yes, Veena ma'am, please, please.
Okay, so Avantika, I want to assure you that, when a child comes into your family, you are responsible. It is like the father. I mean, if it's a single parent, yes, you are the person who has to take care of the child,
Yeah.
but you will ensure that you will have some support systems.
Yeah.
Even a couple, for them also, there is it's important that they have supports, you know and that is one thing. The other thing is, medical problems can come at any time. So, and it can come to your biological child also. So,
Yeah.
as parents, or as somebody responsible for another being who cannot take care of themselves, you have to be ready for that. And the best way to do it is to make sure that you have a support systems are there. Now when a child comes, an adopted child comes home, you cannot say, okay, now I've brought the child home, I will continue with my life, and everything will continue as such. Even when a biological child comes into the family, both, I mean, earlier, yes, the mother stayed back and the father continued to work, but now that is not the case. Everybody continues, they carry on with their career, but they make sure that they also have time for the child. That is very important.
Yeah.
Do you want to add
Yeah, no,
something?
I'm just saying, as a doctor, I can assure you what Veena said is perfectly right. That you have a biological child and you have absolutely no medical background in your side of the family or your husband's side of the family. There is no guarantee that your child will not suddenly end up having some small or even big illnesses like a cancer or something like that. So there is no way to say that anything might or might not happen in the future. If it happens, then also it is your lot. You also have had the pleasure of allowing a child to come into your life, which brings immense happiness. And then sometimes those problems also are part and parcel of the game. So there's no way you should do. If you are going to commit yourself, you must know that there is a possibility things may not go your way 1 year, 5 years, 15 years down the line. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be mentally prepared for that. That is a very strong first line decision you have to make. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Avantika, I will just want to add that, I think just to reiterate what they just said, that once you are clear, then you don't compare, like, because, saying that, okay, when there is a couple involved, there is a father, there is, okay, so that's not the case in your scenario. So we don't need to discuss that at all, because otherwise, if I keep comparing, then I will say, supposing that, if supposing I'm blessed that I stay with my in-laws, my kids are having grandparents, but supposing someone doesn't have, then that person will think that, oh, mother father is there, but my child has not got the pleasure of enjoying with grandparents. So that will always be there. So I think rather than seeing what is absent in your life, let's focus on what is present in your life. What is present in your life is your determination, your willingness to do this. And if you decide for whatever reason that you want to go after for a normal category, it is completely fair. Please be unapologetic about it. You're not answerable to anybody, or don't feel guilty that, oh, this is the reason that I'm not adopting from a special child category. When I adopted my two children, special child category was there. I was aware of it. I chose not to. I had my own reasons. I'm comfortable with that. So you don't have to pressurize yourself. Make this journey very pleasant and loving for yourself, and go for counseling sessions. When you The first step is to apply on the Kara portal. Action is important. Unless you don't do it, you will never know. I mean, I'm not discouraging you from doing research or talking to people. Do all of that. But there has to be a cutoff period that, okay, now I've decided, take the action, take the leap of faith, apply on the Kara's website, because only then you will get access to the counselors, the social activities, and you can be part of various groups. I can put you in certain groups. So people will talk a lot, but you have to be very clear in your head, and then just move ahead with a lot of love and passion. That's what I would say.
Got it. Thanks a lot to all three
Thank
of
you.
you.
Thank you, Avantika. Great question. I think Vishal.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am attending this meeting on behalf of my cousin sister who had applied on Kara around 3.5 years back to adopt.
Okay. Okay.
She is single, unmarried,
Mm-hmm.
never married.
Mm-hmm.
Their family is one she herself, then one brother who is 2 years younger, and a mother who is 75 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So the applicant is 42 years old as of now. She's working professional in Delhi. And now, when we applied, they were very motivated.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a child, opportunity for a child around a month back.
Okay.
And the motivation has come down
Okay.
very drastically.
Okay.
So my sister has not discussed with the family right now that the opportunity came and she has not taken it. That is number one. Number two, her brother, who is 40 years, he is being treated for OCD for last almost 15 years.
Okay.
And he also has aggression issues for the, some past things which have happened in his life within the family, or being in the college or something. He is
Mm-hmm.
also unmarried.
Mm-hmm.
He loves children very much. I have been going with them whenever we go out for dinner. He sees a child, uh, small child, 2 years old, 1 year old. He plays with them. He
Mm-hmm.
loves that. So my cousin sister, she has not declared that there was an opportunity which has come to both of them, neither to mother and not to the brother. So she got a required option also. The child is less than 2 years old. And one question came when the child report came. So child is 1.5 years old, but the way he is not able to walk. He's still crawling. This also put a question on that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's worried about, because she is taking care of her brother, number one, who is OCD patient, and also the mother who is diabetic, asthmatic. So she thinks, will she be able to, is she adding another problem or happiness?
Okay. So the question is whether, I mean, see, honestly, in this case, uh, it's a little tricky because maybe she can get counseling or she can talk to people. I can put her to Dr. Vinita Bhargav also, who's a
She
counselor.
she has met Dr. Vinita Bhargav 2 or 3 times. We
Okay.
met. I was also along with her.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Then I think it's ultimately a decision, because see, like we are all saying that when you take a decision, you have to take the decision in its completion, because and especially in today's day and age, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So you can't, although you try to plan and you try to take a very informed decision, but still you can't plan everything. So you cannot say that, okay, if I take that decision, then things should fall in this way. So if you, as a family, or if if she feels that for whatever reason she is demotivated and she's not able to take this forward, then she has to just step back and be happy with that decision, because this is a decision only she can take. I mean, people can
Absolutely.
give her advice and people can tell her. Some people might tell her, "Nahi, kuch nahi hoga. Everything will be fine. Go ahead, do it." Some people might say, "Yes, you are right. Your fears are right. You have so much going on in your life. I don't think you should go ahead." But ultimately, it's her decision. So this is nothing. There is no right or wrong answer, or there is no answer. Actually, I cannot give any answer to that. And especially if she's already met Dr. Vinita Bhargav 2 3 times, then it's something that she will have to decide, or people in her family have to sit together and take a decision, and then be happy about that decision, at least, is what I can advise, honestly. I mean, I don't know whether I helped you here, because I don't want to lie. There's nothing that I can add more
No, no,
than.
it certainly helps me because you have said a very right thing that she has to take a call. Once taken a call, either way, then no looking back.
Yes, be happy with that call, and
Yes.
don't be answerable to anyone. Like, you have taken a decision and you have weighed your pros and cons, and you are bending towards the fact that, no, I'm not ready. And honestly, uh, bringing a child home not being mentally ready is something which nobody will encourage. So if she is not
She applied
mentally.
for a general category. Yeah.
No, no, no. In the sense that she is not mentally ready, is what I'm saying.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, not the child. So the child may be from a normal category, but if she is not mentally ready, then she should be happy with that. She just should let go, take the decision, and be happy with it. I have a friend, who adopted, and then they applied for a second one, like I did. But when the referral child came and the date came closer, they as a couple decided that they don't want to go ahead. Whatever their reasons was, I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
But they stepped back. And but they're happy with that decision. They don't regret it, or they don't keep saying that, "Arey, hame, we should have done," or they don't explain what the reasons were. Whatever the reasons were, they decided that, okay, at one point in time we decided we want to go for the second one, but now the decision has changed. So I think it's better that they are so clear, because getting someone and taking the responsibility when you yourself are not clear is definitely not something I would advise.
Thank you. Just last point I wanted to add.
Yes.
The child was abandoned in a hospital which is around 250 kilometers from
Mm-hmm.
the place they were offered. So this question was also there: why the child was abandoned at 250 kilometers, and he is being offered from a place uh, which is 250 kilometers apart. So how this happens? So it created a doubt. What was the issue?
Yeah, see, a doubt can come from anywhere, because there can be so many reasons. There are so many variables which you and I can never imagine. We can never fathom that something like this can happen, because of which the distance of 250 kilometers was there. Or if today I want to sit and think that, okay, why was my child given away? What were the reasons? I mean, I would just say that, things which I don't have control on, or which I cannot get information about or I'm not aware of, I think it's better that we just let it be that way and believe that there must have been something which transpired, which caused this. But going after that will not help. If that has created a doubt, so be it. The doubt is there, you don't want to do it, fine. But going after that, why that happened, and pursuing that is of no, it will not do anything good to anybody.
And I
Yes.
just want to add that that is why we have this Kara that does such a thorough job of finding out what the uh, background of the child is, so that we don't have those problems later. And so we have to trust that agency completely and just go by that and not entertain any of these doubts. Once we've decided, once the child has come home, that's it. That child is yours. Finished.
And an abandoned child is an abandoned child. It doesn't matter 250 kilometers or 2 kilometers, or in a church, or in a masjid, or a temple, or on the roadside. That is the reason why the reason why the child has been abandoned is completely irrelevant to the decision of adoption, because that is going to cause a, it's going to plant a doubt which is not good for the adoptive parents and certainly not good for the child. So please don't even allow such things to enter your minds.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. Raji, any
Hey,
more questions? You think?
yeah, hi, this is Ankesh.
Yes, Ankesh, please go ahead.
Uh, and I know we are on time. I'll keep it very short. In
Sure,
fact, my
please go
wife
ahead.
is also on the call.
Mhm.
We are close to in fact, seniority is very low right now, and I think we're expecting a child sometime in next 6 months.
Oh,
We're based
lovely.
out of Bangalore.
Mhm.
Um, would love to know if there is any support group we can get in touch with before and after the adoption. That would be super helpful for us to prepare.
Yes, yes. So, Ankesh, I can put you through that. I will just note your name, and I mean, I can connect with you later and put you through these support groups. There are many support groups actually, which
Yeah,
consists of
super. Thank you.
adoptive
Perfect.
parents, and
Thank you.
they help each other. They answer these questions because they all have, they some have already adopted, some are in the process. So yes, I can put you through that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are in Bangalore, so anybody who wants to connect with us, we are happy to, talk to you people and, whatever doubts, anything.
Except we are only here 6 months a year, but even otherwise on phone calls and things, please don't hesitate ever, because that's one thing that will give us a lot more satisfaction that somebody has taken a wonderful step in their lives.
Thank you so much for that offer. And anybody who's in Bangalore and in this session, you heard them. So
Asif?
Ankesh, you can just drop a message on the We Adopt WhatsApp group. You are part of that, Ankesh?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah. So you just identify your name and number, and then I'll DM you
I'm
separately.
not seeing it.
We shall see.
Yeah, super.
Asif.
Perfect. Thank
Yes,
you.
Asif. Yes, Asif. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening. Hello, Laja. Hello, Vinagaru.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm from Hyderabad. So, if you remember, Laja, like last time I was present in one of these sessions, and I have raised a point about the slow movement of our legal system to make the children legally available,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. So, like like as far as I know, it takes sometimes about 2 years, 3 years to to do all the due legal procedure and make the children available legally for adoption, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by that time, as we all are very well aware that all every desiring parents are looking to adopt children at a very young age, especially the infants, as also Vantika said. So, like, are we like doing anything legally, or to demand anything from the government or the authorities, or do we have any such thing who are working on it? Because I myself, I'm a lawyer, So I would like to get associated with them and do my part in whatever the way that I can.
Okay. Thanks, Asif, for the question. Again, I can put you through Dr. Vinita Bhargav. I mean, I wish she was here. She would have taken this question in a very beautiful way, but I will also attempt it. So, see, the thing is that there are, of course, reasons as to why, the process is so long. And there are obviously loads and loads of opportunities to improve at a ground level. Because many a times, I mean, like Dr. Vinta Bhargav, she really works at the ground level, at the grassroots level. So she is aware of these problems. But what basically happens is, in many times, the child has nobody. The child is orphaned, but the guardian, maybe the uncle or aunt, is for some reason not willing to give up the child because of lack of education, awareness, or they cannot themselves take care, but they are just making the process longer. So at the end of the day, we need to remember that we are dealing with people, okay? Because children who are orphaned, there has to be, even if there is no guardian involved, there the the government or the system has to take a responsibility, right? That okay,
Right.
this child, because tomorrow suddenly out of the blue moon, if the birth parents come and say that, hey, this is my child, then that becomes a problem, right? So they have to go through these processes to ensure that all these problems don't happen in the future. So yes, some processes are improving and there is a lot of scope for improvement, and there is a lot of good work happening. If you follow the Kara's Insta handle, you will see that they are very active and they are doing a lot of webinars, seminars, trainings, etc. So things are only improving. Like as years are going by, things are only improving, that I am seeing. But it's a very huge system and it has got so many variables, and our country itself is a very big one, so the problems therefore are that much larger. So anything like this complex cannot be like solved so easily. But definitely a lot of work is happening. But if you are keen to participate or do anything more, then I can put you in touch with Dr. Vinta Bhargav and she can guide you as to what you can do from your end as well. Does that help?
Absolutely, Lacha. But the main thing is, I'm totally aware about the awareness sessions that are being made, the exhibitions that are being held,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who are involved on the ground level and also on the upper level. But despite of such tremendous efforts, we aren't able to reduce the gap between prospect parents and the available number of children. So that concerns me from the very core, because there are people willing to give love. There are people willing to they're suffering from inside, but they don't have enough number of children available. So that pains me. So that's what I wanted to.
No, I hear you, and that's a concern that I think a lot of people have, and that pains a lot of people. So it's very nice that to hear that you are wanting to do something about that. But that's the fact. I mean, that's all I can say. It's a harsh reality, but I would also say that work is happening. I mean, there is slow progress. There is a lot of steps being taken to improve. For example, I spoke about the institutional care being strengthened, or the non-institutional care being being talked about. So there are steps being taken, but it's too large a thing to be able to see quick results. Is what I can
Right.
say.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Asif. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And one important thing, Raja, I like being a Muslim. There are several misconceptions available in Muslim community about related to adoption. So I'm aware of a lot of things with respect to adoption from the legal perspective and also from the religious perspective. So
Mhm.
if you come across, if any one of you come across any prospect parents who are wanting to adopt but are being bounded by the religious restrictions, or that they think so that are not allowed, please, I'll be more than happy to provide guidance to them. And I would also want to be added to that group of VDOP that you just have mentioned,
Surely.
because we have to do every bit that we can make it easier for everyone.
Surely, Asif. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. You can drop, I mean, we'll definitely add you in the We Adopt group, and I will
sure,
put you in touch with Dr. Bhargav as well.
sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful to listen from you and from Veena and Doctor. So thank you so much for all your efforts. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Asif. Thank you.
Laja, can I say
I
a last
Laja, we
word?
do
Just,
have some. Yeah.
sorry. Okay. Sorry. Kala, please
Sure,
go
sure,
ahead.
sure. Go ahead, sir.
No,
Please
I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say that as very senior people in this group now, I would like to leave a message with you youngsters. You know, the pleasure we've had of adopting, it is worth every hassle that you face during the process and after the process when the child is misbehaving and the child is troubling you. But by and large, there is nothing to replace the actual pleasure of having finally done this good deed of giving a child a home, because it is not just the child who benefits, you benefit a lot more than what you think you're giving to the child monetarily or whatever, physically or anyway. Now, for us, it has come in an even more different way. Both the children are grown up. My daughter already has a child, and she says that the second child is going to be an adopted child. What can be more happy than that? My son he married after my daughter. Now, he and his wife have decided that they don't want it to even attempt to have a biological child. They want to adopt. Now, these are the kind of things that make you feel that there's been something worthwhile you've done in your life. And when you're all my age, you will feel happy that you've contributed something worthwhile to all the pleasures that we enjoy out of nature and our existence on this planet. So please think seriously about adoption.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Colonel, for your.
Uh, it, sorry for interrupting at the end of the session, but thanks for the wonderful session, Laja. I know it's end of the time. Just one quick question.
Mhm.
Like, I understand that the single male can't be able to adopt a female child,
Correct.
but I just read it somewhere. I just want to cross check with you that
Mhm.
whether a single man can adopt a female child under the supervision of his mother.
Under the supervision of the male's mother.
Yeah, male's mother.
No, it's not about supervision. No, no.
Okay.
So the rules very clearly says that if you are trying to adopt as a single parent and if you are a male, then you cannot adopt a single child. I mean, a female child. No,
There is no
no, no,
exemptions
no,
or anything like that. Okay,
no,
because
nothing.
I too aware, but I just read it somewhere, so I just
No,
want to
no,
cross
no,
check with you.
no, no, no. It's a very clear cut rule.
Thanks, Lily. That's all. Thanks for the wonderful
Okay.
session. Yeah.
Thank you. I guess that's about it. Thank you so much, all of you. Raji, I hand it over to you now. I think we are at the end of the session.
Yes, and thank you very much. It has been very, very interactive. So every time when people say, "Okay, sorry, interest of time, last question," I'm loving it because that's the energy and that's the kind of interest that we would want to see in parents who want to adopt. So wonderful,
Surely.
feeling. So thank you very much, and thank you, Veena ma'am and Colonel sir. We seek your
Yes.
blessings, like Colonel sir was already saying, the eldest in the group. So very valuable, feedback shared from your end as well. So great session. Thank you, Lajja, for running this.
Not at all. Thank
Um,
you.
Thank you for everybody who has joined today. Happy parenting. I always say happy volunteering. So this time, happy parenting as well. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
Thank
much.
you
you.
so very
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and good night. Thank you.